Hello everyone, myself Batmapriya K, Assistant Professor of CSE Department, RMD Engineering College. Today we are going to see about GSM architecture. The contents which we are going to cover in this session are introduction and services of GSM, the architecture of GSM, security and some characteristics of GSM standard, advantages, disadvantages and applications of GSM. Before going to the architecture of GSM, let us see what is GSM. GSM stands for Global System for Mobile Communication. It is the second generation cellular standard which is mainly developed to cater voice services and data delivery using digital modulation. It was founded in the year 1982 and was called as Groupe Spatial Mobile. And now it is called as Global System for Mobile Communication. GSM services. There are three main services under GSM. They are tele-services, bearer or data services, supplementary services. Now let us see about the tele-services. The telecommunication services are the services which enable voice communication through mobile phones. The main services under the telecommunication services are mobile telephony, emergency number and multi-numbering. Mobile telephony is the one which we make the calls to other mobile phones. The primary goal of GSM is to enable mobile telephony offering traditional bandwidth of 3.1 kHz. The next service is emergency number. Emergency number, to make calls to the emergency number at free of charge, and it is also mandatory for all the service providers. In the emergency situations, we will be able to make calls for the emergency numbers like to the ambulance, to the police department, etc. And this emergency number is connected with the highest priority compared with other connection calls. Next service is multi-numbering. A single user can be provided with several ISDN phone numbers. All these basic services have to obey the cellular functions and security measurements. Now let us see about the non-voice services. The non-voice services are the data services like sending SMS, that is short message service. We can send up to 160 character alphanumeric data from a mobile terminal. Voice mailbox, we can send voice messages and fax. The second services is the bearer services. The bearer services is also called as data services, which is used for transferring the information between the GSM and other networks like PSTN, ISDN, etc. at rates from 300 to 9600 Bps. We have different data rates for voice and data. The bearer services is classified as two categories: transparent bearer service and non-transparent bearer service. The transparent bearer service is used only at the physical layer to transmit the data, and it uses the forward error correction mechanism only. And it is also implemented only in the circuit switched network, which has constant delay and throughput. Now coming under non-transparent bearer service, it can be used in the protocol using the protocols of layer 2 and 3, that is the data link layer and the network layer, to implement the error correction and flow control mechanisms. It is also used in the packet switched network. Now coming under supplementary services, the supplementary services are the services which is all related to the calls. like call waiting, call hold, call bearing, call forwarding, and call conference calling. Call waiting. So you all know, while we are in a call and in meanwhile if another call is coming, it will be notified to the user. So this is the call waiting. Notification of an incoming call while the user is on the another call. The next one is call hold. So to put a caller on hold to take another call. So while we are talking to a person, we can make that person to put on hold, and we can make a call to another person, or we can attend another call. Call bearing. We can bear all the calls like outgoing and incoming calls. Call forwarding. A user can forward a call to various numbers, but those numbers have to be defined by the user. Multi-party call conferencing, which is used to make calls to many people, to multiple number of users at the same time. It is used to link the multiple calls together. Now let us see the GSM architecture. In GSM architecture, there are some important components. They are mobile station MS, base station BS, mobile switching center MSC, and location register LR. The GSM architecture is divided into 3 subsystems. They are radio subsystem, network and switching subsystem, operation subsystem. The radio subsystem covers all the radio aspects. Network and switching subsystem takes care of call forwarding, handover, and switching. Operation subsystem looks after the management of the network. This is GSM architecture. The GSM architecture contains a mobile station, that is MS, that is your handheld devices, your mobile phones. So these mobile phones are connected to the BTS, base transceiver station, through the TRX, that is transceivers. The signals from the mobile phones is going to be carried to the mobile transceiver station through the air interface, interface. So from the BTS, the signals are being forwarded to the base station controller, BSC, base station controller, through the ABIS interface. From the BSC, the signals will be forwarded to the MSC, mobile switching center. So the mobile switching center is known as the heart of the GSM network. Here, MSC contains 2 databases, that is VLR and HLR, visitor location register and home location register. The authentication center maintains all the authentication details and techniques which is going to be performed in the GSM network. EIR, Equipment Identity Register, contains all the identities regarding the equipment and the SIM. OMC, Operations and Maintenance Center, which is looking after the management of the GSM system. So these are the GSM architecture. So the elements and the interfaces are being explained in this diagram. So you can see in the first, you are having this MS. So these MS is the mobile station. Okay. So a number of mobile stations are connected to BTS, base transceiver station, through the interface. So in a particular region, we have a BTS which covers a number of mobile stations. So this is called as a radio cell. So in another region, we'll be having another BTS which is controlling the mobile stations which is present in that particular region. So this is a different radio cell. So we can see like areas. We have in a city, we'll be having different areas, right? So like that, here also the BTS is the base transceiver stations. Okay, so in each area will be having many mobile services, mobile users. So all the mobile users are connected to that particular area's BTS. So each is going to be called as a radio cell. Now all these BTS is controlled by base station controller. Okay, so this base station controller controls a number of BTS. Likewise, we have many base station controllers. So each base station controller is in charge of a number of BTS and which monitors and controls all the information and signals in regard to the BTS and mobile stations. Base station subsystem. A base station subsystem is a region which contains a single BSC, a number of BTS which has been connected to the number of mobile stations. In the network subsystem, we have MSC, where a single MSC controls a number of BSCs through the A interface. Apart from this MSC, we have GMSC, a gateway mobile switching center, which is used for routing the signals. Where we get the signals from an unknown number, this GMSC is used for routing the signals to that particular number. Apart from the MSC and GMSC, we also have VLR and HLR, visitor location register, home location register, and authentication center, which is contained in the home location register, and entity identity register, OMC, operation maintenance center, in the operation subsystem. Now let us see about radio subsystem. The radio subsystem comprises the cellular mobile networks at the switching centers. The components coming under the radio subsystems are mobile station and base station subsystem. A mobile station means there are in the mobile station there are two components: mobile equipment and SIM. So mobile equipment, you all know the phone device. Okay, the mobile phone device is the mobile equipment, and the SIM, you all know the SIM card. In base station subsystem BSS, we have two components: base transceiver station and base station controller. The base transceiver station is responsible for sending all the signals. It consists of the radio components including the sender, receiver, antennas. The base station controller is used for switching between the BTSs, controlling the BTSs, managing the network resources, and mapping of the radio channels. So, a single base station subsystem consists of a single base station controller, a number of BTS, and their interconnections. Mobile equipment. A mobile equipment is a portable handheld device. It is also vehicle mounted. You all can see the mobile device which is also installed in the vehicles like cars and all. Each mobile device is uniquely identified by an IMEI number, that is International Mobile Equipment Identity. Now suppose your phones are been lost, means we can easily identify the phone using the IMEI number. It is used for voice and data transmission. Subscriber Identity Module, that is SIM. It's a small card, a chip-like card, which stores all the specific data that is relevant to the GSM. These data are permanent as well as temporary. It includes the data like subscriber, network, and the mobile. The information which is being stored in the SIM are the International Mobile Subscriber Identity, IMSI, MS-ISDN number of subscriber, that is the phone number, authentication key and algorithms for authentication check, charging information, list of subscribed services, personal identity number, that is the PIN number and PIN unblocking key, temporary location information while logged on to this GSM system, temporary mobile subscriber identity and location area identification. Base station subsystem. A GSM network comprises many base station subsystems. A base station subsystem performs all the functions which is very necessary for the radio connection to a mobile station, like coding and decoding of the voice, rate adaptation, etc. So the base station subsystem, we have two parts, that is the BSC and the BTS, which is communicated across the standardized A-BIS interface, allowing the operation between the components made by different suppliers. So this is the diagram of a BSS, where a BSC controls various BTS through the A-BIS interface. Base transceiver station. This is a diagram of the BTS. So the BTS contains radio receiver, that is TRX. A transceiver is being fixed along with the BTS to receive the signals and send the signals. It is used for signal processing and control equipment. It also contains the antennas and feeder cables. The main purpose of the BTS is to provide radio access to all the mobile stations and manage the radio access aspects of the system. It is also used for encoding, encrypting, multiplexing, modulating and feed the RF signals to the antenna. It uses the frequency hopping spectrum. It communicates with the mobile station and the BSC. Base station controller. The base station controller manages all the radio resources which is needed for the BTS. It assigns the frequency and the time slots for all the mobile stations in its area. You know, all the people are using the mobile phones nowadays. So there should not be any clash between the signals. Each and every user wants to talk to the corresponding receiver without any interruption and delay. So this is being taken care by the BSC, where the BSC assigns a individual frequency and time slots for all the mobile stations in its area. So it is the BSC which set up the calls also. That is, when we are making a phone call, the call is being connected to the receiver with the help of the BSC. And when the caller, that is the caller, when he is moving from one place to another place, that is from one area to another area, so he is changing over the BTS also. So he is changing from the home BTS to the another BTS. So this handover between the BTS is also being taken care by the BSC. So the handover for each mobile station is being taken care by the mobile station controller. It communicates with the MSC and BTS. So base station controller allocates a channel for the duration of a call. It also maintains the call, like monitoring the quality, controlling the power transmitted by the BTS or mobile station, and also generating a handover to another cell whenever it is required. So the BTS can be linked to a parent BSC through the microwave or fiber, optical fiber or cable. Now let us see the second subsystem of the GSM architecture, network switching subsystem. So the network switching subsystem is the main component and the heart of the GSM system. So this network system, NSS, connects the wireless network with the standard public networks also. And it also performs the handover between different BSS. That is, not only the BSC takes care of handover between the areas, whereas the in NSS, the handovers across the regions like cities is being taken care by this NSS. It supports the roaming of users between different providers in different countries and also performs various functions which is required for worldwide localization of users, and also maintenance the charging and billing information and accounting information. So on the whole, NSS takes care of switching, mobility management, interconnection to other networks, system control. So now let us see the components of the network subsystem. Mobile Services Switching Center, the MSC. So out of several MSC, one of the MSC is being appointed as Gateway Mobile Switching Center. The next is HLR and VLR. So HLR is Home Location Register, VLR is Visitor Location Register. These two maintains the databases. And here all the components are connected using the SS7 signaling system. So let us see about MSC, Mobile Service Switching Center. So they are highly performance digital ISDN switches. So this MSCs is used for setting up and controlling the connections with other MSCs and to the BSCs through the A interface. So the MSC is the main backbone network of a GSM system. As an MSC manages several BSCs in a geographical region and also controls all the connections through the separated network to or from a mobile terminal within the domain of the MSC. Some of the main functions of the MSC: it switches the calls, controls the calls and logging calls. It also performs some specific functions for paging and call forwarding, mobility specific signaling. It also manages the mobility over the radio network and other networks, radio resource management, that is, it performs all the handovers between the BSCs, maintains the billing information, and also maintains the location registration and forwarding of location information with the help of the VLR and HLR. Provision of new services is only applicable with the help of the MSC. Support of SMS and generating and forwarding the accounting and billing information, and interfacing with other interworking functions like PSTN, ISDN, PDN through the gateway MSCs. Now let us see about Gateway Mobile Switching Center. As I told you, a particular mobile switching center is assigned to act as Gateway Mobile Switching Center, GMSC. GMSC is a device which is used for routing the traffic entering a mobile network to the correct destination. Now, for example, when a destination signal is coming with a particular destination where we are not able to find out that destination. So this GMSC is the one which is used for routing the signal to the correct destination. The GMSC accesses the network's HLR to find the location of the required mobile subscriber. So it is not, it's also based on the number of users. We can have more than one GMSC also in a GSM architecture. Now, we are going to say about Home Location Register. So it is the most important database which is stored in the GSM system, where all the user relevant information, either permanent and semi-permanent, are being stored in the HLR. Here, the information is categorized into static information and dynamic information. So the static information is going to be the permanent one, and it includes the information like mobile subscriber ISDN number and its subscribed services like call forwarding, roaming restrictions, and the international mobile subscriber identity. The dynamic informations are the information which is opt to change are stored like such as current location area and mobile subscriber roaming number and the current VLR and MSC. Because when a mobile station leaves its current location, immediately the information in the HLR is updated that so and so mobile station has left the mobile MSC. Now this mobile station is going to a new region, okay, so where it is monitored by a different MSC. So in that MSC, the information of this new mobile station which is moved, that information is updated in the MSC with the help of the VLR. This information is very much needed because with this information which is being forwarded from one MSC to another MSC only, the users are able to localize in the worldwide GSM network. And all these user specific information exists only once for each user in a single HLR and also supports charging and accounting. Now let us see about visitor location register. Each MSC has a VLR. So VLR means visitor location register. It is always a dynamic local database and it contains all the important information which is needed for a mobile user which is currently present in a location area which is associated to the mobile station, mobile switching center. When a new mobile station is coming to a location area of the VLR, immediately the VLR copies all the relevant information for this user from the HLR and stores this data temporarily. So some of the data which is being stored by the VLR is being listed here. So stores the international mobile subscriber identity, mobile station ISDN number, mobile station roaming number, temporary mobile station identity, that is the local mobile station identity, the location area where the mobile station has been registered, and the supplementary service parameters. Now let us see about the operation subsystem. The operation subsystem enables the centralized operation, management and maintenance of all the GSM subsystems, and it is also accessed with other components using the same SS7 signaling system which is used in the NSS. It consists of three main components, that is OMC, Operation Maintenance Center, Authentication Center and Equipment Identity Register. The Operation Maintenance Center has different control capabilities for the radio subsystem and the network subsystem through the O interface, like traffic monitoring, status reports of network entities, subscriber and security management, and accounting and billing. The Authentication Center. So a separate authentication center is used to protect the user identity and the data transmission. So all the authentication parameters used for the authentication and the encryption of user data on the air interface is contained in this authentication center. It generates a user-specific authentication parameters on request of a VLR and it is situated in a special protected part of HLR. Equipment Identity Register is a database for all the IMEI numbers. It stores all the device identifications registered for this network. It also controls access to the network by returning the status of a mobile in response to an IMEI query. So now we want to know the status of a particular number phone. We will be able to see using this Equipment Identity Register. So we will be able to view what are the numbers which has been whitelisted, graylisted, blacklisted. So these and all are the status levels. So whitelisted means the terminal is allowed to connect to the network. Graylisted means the terminal is under the supervision by the network or because for some problems they have already created. Blacklisted means the terminal is either been reported as stolen or is not a type which has been approved by the GSM network. Because they have done some problem, created a problem, so this terminal is not allowed to connect to the network. So let us see about the security in GSM. So GSM uses encryption and TMSI instead of IMSI, because all the signals are going through the air interface, and the GSM uses the encryption mechanisms. All the data have been encrypted, and it uses the TMSI number, the temporary mobile subscriber identity number, through the air interface. It is also provided, the SIM is also provided with 4 to 8 digit pin to validate the ownership of the SIM. In GSM, we mainly use 3 algorithms: A3 algorithm for authentication, A5 algorithm for encryption, and A8 algorithm for key generation. Now let us see the characteristics of GSM. The main and important characteristic of GSM is communication, which provide wireless communication which supports both the voice and data services. Total mobility. We will be able to access internationally. With the help of the chip card, we make use of access points of different providers. Worldwide connectivity. With the single number itself, we will be able to do connection with all the mobile numbers all over the world, because the network handles the localization. High capacity. A better frequency efficiency is possible with the help of a smaller cells, and also now more customers are being provided in each cell. High transmission quality. High audio quality and reliability for wireless communication, and main thing is uninterrupted phone calls at higher speeds. While traveling also, we will be able to make the phone calls without any interruption. Security functions like access control and authentication using the chip card and the PIN number. The advantages of the GSM. The GSM have reduced RF transmission power and also have longer battery life. With the help of the GSM, we will be able to connect with all the people internationally, because with the help of this international roaming capability. Better security against the fraud. Encryption capability for information security and privacy. All the informations are secured and private data are also being secured with the help of this encryption capability. Disadvantages of GSM. As in many vehicles also, this GSM has been implemented, while people driving also will be making use of this services. So this makes the drivers to have reduced concentration in their driving. We may have some electromagnetic radiations, which is not good for the human health. Abuse of private data is very much possible over here. Roaming profiles can be accessed, and comparatively it has a high complexity. The applications of GSM are mobile telephony, that is you can make calls, you can communicate people on the move also. Telemetry system, that is fleet management, automatic meter reading and the toll collection. And there are some other value added services also. So thank you.